You know, I believe there was three, Magic Made Easy number 1, 2, and 3, and I believe there was a one called Magical Treasures, which was made for a British ring. Then there were two films, short films. One was the Three-Card Monte with Stuart Judah and U.F. Grant, and then one was Stuart Judah, who was a magician from Cincinnati. And that film has actually been lost somewhere. And his arrangement was simply this. He booked a circuit. It's much like you might book a lecture circuit. And the films were sent library rate. They might start in Columbus, Ohio, and then they end up at some city, library rate. Then that city would turn around and send it to another city, and another city would send it around, send it to another city, and it would just make a round robin. And he may only see the films maybe once every 6 months. But he also supplied manuscripts to the people. And these were refresher notes. In some cases he had gimmicks that went along with it as well. But the people, he sold them the lecture notes like for a quarter. They'd sell them for $1, and they could send back what they didn't sell. So it worked out good. It was a money-making arrangement for the club. Plus, it was a night's entertainment. They played the movie through a couple of times. One time to see what it was, one time to learn. They had and at that time, a series of notes, they actually matched the film. When you find the Grant series of notes now, they won't match the films, because I had to re-edit the films after I came to Columbus and chop out all of these bad spots and so on and so forth. He didn't rent them out anymore, and they were in his basement. So I just went over to his basement and edited the films. Okay. It took the bad stuff out. Okay. And then they just eventually they just gravitated toward me. Okay. I mean, their films actually, well, you might say they belong to the U.F. Grant estate or okay. Mac Magic now. They're not my personal films.
Hi folks, I'm U.F. Grant, first to present for your approval Magic Made Easy number 2. Hope you like the tricks. We got about 15 of them, all with ordinary items and easy to do. The little quickies with a $1/2 that you place under the handkerchief, and you snap your fingers and $1/2 penetrates right through the silk. Let's try that again. Under the center of the silk, snap your fingers and you come right through. Now here's how we work it. Here's a back view. As you place the coin under the silk, you let the front hang down. Merely take a hold of the silk, come up here and hold it on the outside. And then the thumb merely flips it up. Now let's try that again. Under here, front of the silk down, take a hold of silk only, come up, hold there, and shoot it up. Now we'll show you again how it looks from the outside, or from the front. Over here, up like that, take a hold there, snap your finger, and she comes through. Here we have a close-up bill tear. You draw a dollar bill, have them take the date on the bill, and The idea is to take the bill and rip it in half, explaining that leaves a half over here for you and a half for the other person. Of course, if they don't like that, you just take and you rub the two pieces together. And when you bring it out, while the bill is restored, you hand it back to them uninjured. Now, normally you work this seated at a table, and you drop your half bill in your lap. You really have half a bill palmed in your hand, just held in here. You borrow your bill, crush it up, add that little piece alongside of it like that, and pretend to rip in half, place that down, and you open this up and show your half bill, place it down near the edge of the table as you push their half over here. Now as you go to pick that up, you merely scoop it into your lap, apparently run the two pieces together, and you hand them back the bill uninjured. The trick, we use a shoestring which we place over the center of the hand thusly, and a small ring which we place on the center like that. Now the idea is to cause the ring to penetrate the center of the shoestring. A little snap, and there she is right on there. Now I'm going to show you how this is worked. It's quite simple. You place the shoestring over the center of your hand in the following manner. Then as you come to cover it, your hand covers this move. The thumb goes in there and loops that up in that manner, so that when you pull, that pulls it down through like that. Thank you. This is another card stunt in which you use a hat. You may borrow a hat from someone in the audience, and a deck of cards. Now, as I riffle the edge of the cards, sir, I'd like to have you say stop any time. Stop. Right about there? Right. Very well. Would you remember that card? Yes. And you, sir, remember the second card? And you may remember the third card. Now we're going to take and mix these cards into the deck in the following manner. Now, the first party, as I bring the cards across one at a time like this, you may say stop at any time. And when you say stop, I'll drop that particular card in the hat. Stop. That one right there. All right, now the second person, you stop me at any time. Stop. Right there? Okay. And the third person. Stop. Right there. Okay. That's 3 cards. Now bear in mind, you had your choice of stop me on any card, any one of the cards. It made no difference. And you stopped me on these 3 cards. Now believe it or not, I hope those are the 3 selected cards. What was your card, sir? Ace of Spades. Ace of Spades, we have it. And your card? Deuce of Hearts. Deuce of Hearts. And the last card? The King of Clubs. And the King of Clubs. Thank you. The explanation of this is you have 3 cards clipped together with a little paper clip. And you have the duplicates of those 3 cards in the same order on top of your deck. And that on there like that. And that's down into the center of the deck in this manner. Now as you riffle the cards, wherever they say stop, you merely lift off at the paperclip part, drop these in the hat, and ask the people to remember the 3 cards. Then you go in the hat, remove these, but leave the paperclip cards in there. Now, as you pass the cards over one at a time, you drop them in wherever they tell you to, like this, 2, 3 cards. And after the 3 cards have been dropped in the hat, instead of removing those 3, you bring out the paperclip cards, keeping the clip hid, and then you bring the cards out, as they call them out, one at a time, pulling them out of the clip. The last one you leave on the clip. You toss those in the hat. Now you remove all the cards from the hat and return the hat to the owner. Now on this trick I'm going to use my son and daughter, Joe and Mary Ann. Mary Ann, may I have your ring? Oh, that's a nice looking ring. I hope you're not engaged. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take and wrap the ring in the center of the handkerchief, and Joe, you hold it right up there high where everyone can see it. That's it. Now I have a paper sack here. Going to do a little trick with the paper sack. Then the pencil. You stick the pencil through the sack in this manner. You'll notice there's nothing in there. It's absolutely empty. And you close up the top, and there you hold the pencil. Very tight, though. Now, what I'm going to try to do is cause the ring to pass from here over to here on the pencil. Count of 3, you let go. 1, 2, 3, go. The ring has vanished. Hold tight. Is that your ring?
Yes.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're a believer. Now, here's how we work it. Up in the corner of the handkerchief, we have a fake ring sewed. And after you bore the ring, you place the fake corner on your hand like that and pretend to wrap it. You just wrap the corner and have them hold it. Hold that, if you will, Joe. That leaves the ring in your hand. Now you take your paper sack, open it out, and when you go to push your pencil through, well, you push it right through the ring. Where's my pencil here? That goes right through the ring, but with the audience seated, you can show them the bag and they can't see the ring. Then you show there's nothing here. Then you hold there, Marianne, hold very tight. Then you count 1, 2, 3, you shake this out, and the ring's gone. Rip that off, and there they have the ring. Is that your ring?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. Here's a little quickie for you with a thimble. This is a little thimble penetration. Place the thimble on the finger in the following manner, and then you cover it like this. Now, count of 3, it pops through. 1, 2, 3, and there it is, right through. Here's how you work it. Here's a back view. As you come over to cover, you thumb palm it and hold down here. On the cover of this motion, you come back and get it, and that way you cause it to penetrate through there. Let's try that again now. Watch so you can see the effect in the front. Makes a cute little effect. See? Pops right up through. Now once more, here's a back view. As you cover, you go like that, come down and pick her up. Thank you. Now, this one is a spirit effect. You use a glass tumbler and a little metal knocker and some Halloween confetti. You fill the glass with confetti in the following manner. Then we take the striker and push it down in the confetti in the following manner. Thusly. Now this little spirit wrapper answers in the usual spirit fashion. 1 rap for yes, 2 for no, and 3 for doubtful. Are you there, little spirit? Says he's there. All right. Is that young lady down in the front row married? She's not married. Would she like to be? She would. Well, when she gets married, how many children will she have? That's enough, that's enough, that's enough. Now here's how we work this little stunt. We use a bottomless glass, and I have a piece of celluloid cemented on there with a finger hole here. And you'll find that you can fill the glass with confetti without it running through that little hole. Now you turn sideways. As you turn sideways to place this in, your finger goes up into the confetti and hooks onto the little knob there, and the movement of the finger, which is out of sight at the rear, does the spirit wrapping. Then to finish, when you take this out, you pull your finger out, toss that down, come back, pour your confetti out, and we hope you have everyone mystified. Several key rings. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 key rings. Now the idea of the trick is this. Take the key rings in this manner, shoot them in the air like that, and we find they are all linked together. The simplicity of this method of doing the linking links, I think you will appreciate. You merely have your link chains already in your bowl. Fastened to a book, you make yourself a little city out of tin. I just took a piece of tin and bent it over, and your book acts as your counterweight. That's on the back edge of your table. Now as you count your rings down onto the book, to display that they are all separate, you come with the bowl underneath the servante. I'll give you a side view of this, so you can see exactly how this works. You just come over the bowl like this underneath the servante. They go into the servante for the noise effect. You walk forward, shoot them in the air. Hi folks, it's a pleasure to present series number 3 of Magic Made Easy. In this particular film, I'm going to do a little different than formerly. The first half of the film, I'm going to work all the tricks. And then in the second half, why, I'll explain how the tricks will work. The same as in my other films, we're going to have available this manuscript of Magic Made Easy that describes all the tricks shown in detail, so you can refer to them later on. And so without further ado, let's go on with the trick. Now for my first trick, I'm going to make use of a length of rope. To use this, with your permission, we'll tie it around the neck and pull it right on through. But that really has nothing to do with this next trick, in which we're going to make use of some magic rings. Now these will play a very important part in the trick later on, as you will see. We'll start off by tying the rope in a knot around the chair. Now the idea of this trick is to take the rope and pull it right through the chair. The same thing applies with the magic rings. If we take the rings, place them over there like that, the rings become threaded on the rope. Also watch, we take one of the rings like this, a little hokey pokey, and it comes right off. Let's try that again, once more. Little hokey pokey, ring number 2. Once more, a little hokey pokey, ring number 3. And the same thing applies if we take this one, put them all on there, and again, we'll untie the rope, let the rings go down here in the hat, and again you toss the rope for examination. Thank you. Now again we'll go into another rope trick. In this particular rope trick you borrow a hat, show it after you don't have anything loaded in there, and you take your length of rope and place it down here in the hat. Along with this we make use of a harness ring. Now the idea is to cause the ring to fly through the air and land over here in the hat. Now this is what you call fishing the ring out of the hat. And here on the end of the very tip of the rope, we find we have the harness ring actually tied on there with a solid knot. But that really has nothing to do with this next trick, in which we make use of a dollar bill. The idea is to tear the bill in half and then roll it up into a small packet in the following manner. You notice the hands are otherwise empty. Now we take the little packet, place it on the hand like that, take a little loop-a-left and sprinkle on there, and the idea is to cause the bill to rise through the air, and as it rises through the air, it has a tendency to restore itself completely, then you may toss the bill out for souvenir. But that really has nothing to do with this next trick, which, speaking of coin items, which makes a nice little item to use in conjunction with some card tricks. In other words, for example, we'll say you start off by tearing a little corner off the card. And you reach over here, you tear another little corner off over here. And another little piece over here. Of course, if you're a magician, you don't have to worry over that because you can restore the card completely as in the beginning. That really has nothing to do with this next stunt, in which I'm going to run the card through my hand like this, and you may say stop at any time. Right there? Look at the card and remember it. Now we'll shuffle that card into the deck. And along with it, we make use of a glass of ink. We're going to have the glass of ink reveal the name of the card for us. Now watch. Just say Hokey Pokey, Alakazoki, and the ink is changed to clear water, and here it has printed card. And still another little card trick. As I run through the cards like this, I'd like to have someone say stop. Stop. Right there. Look at the card and remember it. Now I'm going to try and cause that card to leave the deck, pass up my sleeve, and land over here in the pocket. Was it a red card or a black card? Black. Black card. Well, in that case, I found the right card. Thank you. Now this next stunt normally you have someone from the audience step up and you use their coat. In this particular case, I'll use my own coat. The idea is to place the coat across the back of the chair in the following manner. And along with this, we make use of a pocket knife and a piece of paper. Now the idea is to push the knife through the coat. To do that, you merely place the knife blade right about there, come down with your paper here, and the idea is to push the knife right on through the coat and the paper. Now sometimes they ask, well, how is such a thing possible? Well, I'll show you a little problem. Now this time, we'll take the thumb down here like this, and see if it's possible to push the thumb through the coat. Then we take and wipe that away. Then you let the man place his coat back on again. Thank you. Now this one makes a nice little opening called the repeat cigarette trick. This is supposed to be worked with channel line. And so on, far into the night. Get another one. I'll show you a trick you can work with a cigar box. First of all, we hand the deck of cards out, allow them to shuffle it up fairly, as much as they care to. Then you make use of a cigar box, which is absolutely empty. You place your deck of cards in the box. Then you take the cards up. Mix them all up, even after they shuffle, still by the apparent sense of super sensitive fingertips, you reach in the box and you produce the 1, 2, 3, 4 aces. Thank you. Thank you. Now we'll show you another way you may use this cigar box. You may use it to keep the magazine in and a piece of chalk, otherwise empty. In this stunt, you make use of a copy of the Lincoln Ring magazine. You may use any magazine. This runs over 120 pages. I'm going to pass this out to someone. And I'd like to have someone else call out any page. Would you call out? 68. 68. Open that to page 68, please. Will you do that? Fine. Now we need a slate for this one. All right, 8 and 6. For 68, that's 14. Count down to the 14th word on the left-hand column, if you will. In the meantime, I will make a prediction. And what was the word, sir? And, A-N-D, and you notice that's my prediction. Thank you. Now here we have a little unusual type of a suspension trick, which you make use of a soda straw in a pop bottle. Now the idea is to cause the straw to cling to the fingertips and the bottle clings to the straw, defying all the laws of gravity. And again, the straw and the bottle. Also, we're going to make use of a copy of the G9 magazine. Notice it has an outside cover, an inside, and a back cover. Now watch, back, inside, and front. We'll fold this to the outside, turn it over, and see what we can find. You may also use in place of silk lollipops, or candy kisses, or silk stockings, or anything like that you'd like to produce from the magazine. Then again, you let this drop down, you let that drop down, show it all around, and place it away. That really has nothing to do with this next trick, in which we're going to use a glass tumbler with a solid bottom. We're going to place silk in there, thusly, and we're going to snap a pocket handkerchief around that in the following manner. In other words, we snap a rubber band around the top, seal the silk in there, and the idea is to pull the silk right through the bottom of the glass in this manner. And again, we remove the rubber band and we uncover and again show you a solid glass. Now right here it might be a good idea to mention, same as I have in the other films, in case you haven't seen the other films, that I kind of rush through these tricks due to the fact it's merely a demonstration. And in a regular show, after you take more time in explaining the tricks and getting the showmanship out of them and so forth. Thought I'd mention that. Thank you. This next swindle, you start off by boring a hat in front of the audience. And to work this effect out for you, I'm going to use a little box that we have on the market called the Gizmo box. In this particular trick, we use it for the production of silks. You can use it for the color change of silks or anything you want. As you produce the silks, you toss them into the hat. And after you work that, you show that you have a green, a white, a red, and I guess you'd call this a purple. Now the idea is this: we're going to take the silk, push them back in the box again in the following manner. See if it's possible to form something a little unusual on this. You notice this really holds quite a load of silk. It also may be used for color change of silk. Tap your box a few times like that. Hokey pokey. Silks are gone. Normally you expect to find them in the hat, but over here in the hat you can have a bowl of water or any sort of production you want, which makes a nice way to load it. Thank you. Now we're going to show you a new way to pour a glass of milk. We'll place the glass under the hat for the time being. Then we'll pour a little milk through there in the following manner. And sure enough, here we have the glass of milk. Thank you. Now again, you make use of a bored hat. You bore a hat from someone in the audience, and the idea is to cause a half a dollar to pass from the hand into the hat. And you notice it lands right over here. Let's try that again. Watch. You take the half, make a pass, and again it flies over the hat. Now this time I'll work it the hard way. We'll cause it to pass through the crown of the hat. Watch. Go. And down here. Oh, look. Here we have a glass with a handkerchief. And the half a dollar is now down in the corner of the handkerchief. Thank you. And that concludes the Tricks and Magic Made Easy number 3. Now we'll go into the explanation. Now remember on the first one, the idea was to pull the rope through the neck in that manner. Makes a nice little opening trick. You prepare by taking the rope and tucking it under your collar. So it goes around the back. It appears as if it's hanging around your neck in this manner. You have that around, then you come out like this, pull like that, and apparently it comes right through the neck. Now you follow that up by walking over here and reaching in the hat to get the rings. Now really in the hat you had this extra piece of rope which you added to this end of the rope as you removed the ring. Then we take the rope and tie it around the chair. Now to pull that through the chair, you take one of these ends, I'll do it sideways here, bring it around, let go of this end, and that pulls it up through the chair apparently. Same thing applies with the rings. You place the rings over one of the ends, and and you switch ends, and that puts the rings on there. Then remove them one at a time. You take and switch ends again and take them off one at a time. And then you place them all back on again. Then to finish, you untie the rope. When you got these into the hat, you get rid of your extra piece of rope. You can toss the rope off its damn laces. Now, thank you. Now, the next one, as you recall, was the one with the ring on the end of the rope. As you pick the rope up, there's an extra piece used in this one. You actually have a ring on the end. But the extra piece is out like this, and they see both ends. Now you take and place the rope down in the hat and leave that extra piece in there. Then you take the other ring and you pretend to place it in this hand to vanish it. Now as you bring the rope out, you drop this ring into that pocket, because all the tension is on there, and fish the ring out of the hat. And you show it on there, that's it. Now here's the explanation for the torn rising bill trick. You take and roll your bill up into a little packet on the end of a length of thread. The rolled bill holds it. The other end of the thread is fastened to your button. That's down here in the pocket, and a duplicate bill down here. So you take, as you reach in your pocket to look for the bill, you get this one palmed in the hand. This one is torn in half, rolled up, and added alongside of this one. The two are held as one, like that. Then you steal the torn pieces away into this hand, and leave the one with the thread on this hand. Now as you go for your magic woofle dust to get rid of your torn bill, get your thumb under the thread like this, raise your hand, and that comes up to the hand, and when you open it out, well, that lets the thread drop, and you're able to toss the bill out. That's it. Now, on this next one, for the torn card trick, you take two cards that are alike, fold one in half, and glue that right up to the top half like that. So that when you tear, you just take pieces like this and tear from that top half. As you take the pieces, you place them in your pocket. Now under cover of the hands here, you merely straighten this front one out, and apparently the cards are stored, you toss it down to one side. Now, here's how we work the ink to water shot with the card. You have a card painted black on black, and when you stick that down in the water, it looks like ink. Then you force a duplicate of that card, and then as you cover this with a handkerchief, you turn it around, and the ink is changed to water and has printed the card. Thank you. And here's how you force the card. An easy way, you have the card on the bottom, and you give it a apparently Hindu shuffle, and really pull them off the top. Whenever they say stop, you have them look at that card, and that's the way you force it. And in the same manner, you force any black card and ask them to remember it. Then you reach the pocket and say, is it a red card or a black card? And that's what they're going to say black. Say that's right. You bring out the black card and get a little laugh on it. Now for the explanation on the knife through the coat. You have a piece of prepared paper by looping it over and gluing it on the ends here. Then you have a duplicate knife up under the paper. It's up in that section like that. Normally you have someone from the audience step up and have them remove your coat. And you hang the coat over the back of the chair. It's nice to use a coat hanger and have them hold a coat hanger instead of a chair. Then you take your duplicate knife out of the pocket and open that up. Pick up your paper and show it. It's still in the duplicate. When you come down here, you can drop this in your side coat pocket or in your trouser pocket, and this knife you let drop out of that pocket and push it onto the apparently the coat and the paper. Then the other one, the little comedy follow-up with a thumb tip makes a good follow-up. You have your thumb tip on your right thumb and show your paper like this, and through the cloth of the coat you get your thumb onto the other hand, apparently push that to the coat like that, and then you brush it away, carrying the thumb tip away with the paper. Thank you. Now on your repeat cigarette trick, used as an opening trick, you light up 2 cigarettes before you walk on. You have one thumb palm. Come out smoking this one. Take it into this hand, reach up, catch this one. Then pretend to toss this in the tail, really thumb palming. Then you repeat that. Move each time. You pretend to toss in. You got another one, you reach out here, catch this one. Again, you pretend to toss that in. Catch that one. Of course, most of you know the thumb palm, but we'll show you a back view on that. Makes a rather nice effect. Then a pass and so on and so forth. Follow that is locating the 4 aces in the box, cigar box. This is very cleverly arranged. You take a cigar box and you tear the extra cover off of another one and you hinge it like that. It really gives you a double cover. So between this double cover, you have your 4 aces. You may also use this for other things like a living and dead test like that. Now you're able to show the box empty at the start. Place your shuffled deck of cards in there, and then under cover of shaking them up, they lose track which is the front. And you reach under here to produce your 4 aces. It looks as if you're going into the box, but you're pulling them right off of here, and you show your 4 aces. Now the same thing applies for the magazine test. Under this cover, we have the list of a word from each page. You add the pages together, get the number of word on that page. We have room here for 180. You can still put another list up here. In other words, you could use a telephone book. So at the start, you show your piece of chalk in your box along with your magazine. Drop that down. Now while you're talking, you get a duplicate piece of chalk from your pocket. Now you open this up after they call off the page, pretend to get your chalk, and you're able to see the word and make your prediction. And I think that covers it all right for you. Now, for example, after you hand your magazine out, if they call out like page 68, you tell them the 8, add the 8 and the 6 together, that makes 14, and count down the 14th word in the left-hand column. Then as you go in front and get your chalk, you see which that word is, and you write it down. Next, we come to the suspension of the bottle and the straw trick. To explain that, I fixed up another bottle and put a cord on it. On the regular one, you use a piece of catgut. Thin piece of catgut, which holds its shape more. So as you pick the bottle up, the thumb goes in that. You show your straw. Now you let that hang from there and then bounce the thing from your fingertips like that. And actually, by using the catgut, while they can't see it, you can seal that off later and hand the bottle out if you care. Now for the one with the magazine, where you produce the silk from the magazine, you've got a load container here swings from side to side, made of cardboard. You have a big load of silk in there and everything. And that hangs down there with Scotch tape. So at the start, that's behind the table. When you pick that up, that goes behind there. Now you open out and show the inside. This swings over and you show the back. And the inside, this swings over to here and you show this side. And you fold it around like that to produce your silks and so forth that you have in there. At the finish, while you can fold it up and place it back down so your load goes back to your table. Now for the trick of the silk penetrating the glass, you show your silk in your glass. Here's a back view. You throw this over like this. As you come to wrap it, you really reverse it. You snap a rubber band around there, reach up, pull your silk right through the apparent bottom of the glass, then remove your rubber band, you bring this away, reverse it again, and pass the glass out of examination together. Now let's go over that glass one again. Sure you get it. I'll work it in the front. As I come down here, covered, I turn the glass upside down. I snap the rubber band around there, pull that apparently through the bottom of the glass, and I reach up under here and take the rubber band off. As I take this away, I turn the glass back upright again. Now again, as you come down, you really turn that over like that. Pull your silk through. And when you unwrap again, as you bring it away, you just reverse that on the top of the handkerchief again. I think that'll get it for you all right. Now this is the bowl production out of the hat. This can be a little fish bowl. It can be full of water or anything you want. And you have that hooked on a eyelet at the back of your table, like that. Then you produce your silks, and as you produce your silks, you place them in the hat, and then you take them out of the hat to call attention to the different colors and so forth. Now as you go to scoop those back in, you really are scooping the bowl right in the hat at the same time. Then after you lay your silks aside, you're ready to reproduce your bowl any way you want. Now for the last two tricks, the ones with the glasses, you use the Cervantes. I just made one out of a piece of cardboard. Have that underneath the tray. The tray acts as a counterweight to hold it down there. Now for your milk trick, you have a hat on the table with a glass of milk underneath there right at the start. This is a side view, of course. The audience are out there. Now you take the glass and you show it as you place it under the hat. You leave it on the Cervantes, go through that motion, pretend to pour, and when you lift it, you have your glass full of milk. Now for the trick with the $50, you have a silk with a $50 tied in the corner down in the glass, and that glass is on your Cervantes. Now you pretend to pass the $50 into the hat a couple times, dropping it in as you pick it up. Then the last time you lay the hat upside down, you're going to have it pass through the crown of the hat. Now as you go to lift the hat, to remove the $50, you bring the glass right in there like that. Then you're able to take the half out of there and show it like that. And that concludes our series number 3 of Magic Made Easy, and I hope you liked it. And don't forget, we have the manuscripts for sale right after the movie. Thank you very much.
To do for you this evening my version of 3-Card Monte. Hope you like it. Ready? I have here 3 cards. This is a little stunt that a man showed me years ago. It's a guessing game with 3 cards, an ace and 2 blank cards. Now the man explained the idea was to keep track of this ace at all times, because that is the money card. We threw the cards down. Even though he mixed these cards, I knew this was the ace. He always kept telling me, watch the ace very carefully. And I did. Even though he changed these 2 cards, I knew this was the ace, until I turned it over, and I was wrong. Well, the man explained that I couldn't possibly pick the ace because he had 1, 2, 3 blank cards. Well, naturally, with 3 blank cards, you didn't have much chance of winning. Not at all. The only time you could win was when the man wanted you to. And he said that any card you picked would be the ace. So I picked this one, and sure enough, it was the ace. Then I picked the center one, and that was an ace. And then I picked this one, and that proved to be an ace also. Of course, the man said to keep the thing on the level. He rubbed the other 2, and they were really blanks after all. He said, you've been such a nice fella, and you've been losing all the time. He says, I'm going to give you a break. So he had a little paper clip, which he said he's going to place on the back of the ace, like this. There's the clip on the back of the ace. Here he had the other 2 blank cards. Now he explained he was going to do this very slowly. Now even though he mixed the cards around, I knew that this was the ace with the clip on the back. In fact, I checked a little further. Here we had 1, 2 blank cards. And I knew I was safe in picking this one. But I wasn't after all, because it was a blank card. The only way I could have won was pick this one. That's the one I didn't pick, unfortunately. That's it. Now, for the explanation. This effect depends upon a master move. You either throw the ace or not. For instance, you pick up the blank card with the thumb and the middle finger. You pick the ace up with the thumb and the third finger. Now you can either throw the ace like that, or you can throw the blank card instead of the ace. Now on the double flash, you do just the reverse. You pick up the ace and place it on top of the blank. Now apparently you throw the blank, but you really throw the ace. Now for the glide business, the business of showing all blanks, the ace is actually picked up so that it's in the center. So you pick them up and you say one blank, and you really deal the ace. Then you deal the other two blanks. Now in showing the three all cards aces, the ace is on the left. So you pick up, show the ace, but really throw the blank. Then you pick up the ace again and really throw the blank, and you show the ace over here. Now for the business of the clip. The clip is actually placed on the ace, like that. Placed face down. The two blanks are shown. Placed such a way that one of the cards goes under the blank and the other card covers. Now when you pick the three cards up and do this, the clip becomes disengaged from the ace and is now here. Now in mixing the cards, you manage to get the ace over here. So now you're enabled to show the double flash, and this apparently has to be the ace. But in reality, it's a blank. And that, I think, covers everything. Let's go over that glide again. Now the ace is actually in the center. So when you pick the cards up, you pick them up so that the ace remains in the center. You show this, but you actually pull it back and deal the ace instead. But they think it's a blank. Now you show this blank and that blank, so apparently they're all blank cards.
Now I'll present the U.F. Grant method of three-card Monte. Now the idea of this trick is to keep your eye on the ace. I'll explain the game to you so you see exactly how it's played. In other words, we use the ace and two jokers, and the ace is the one you're supposed to keep your eye on. Now anytime anyone would like to place a little money down, why, we're always open for bets. The other day I had someone bet on that one, so as a double check, I showed I had a joker there, and a joker there. Now the reason that he lost is the fact that we didn't have an ace at any time. But any time you want an ace, you merely take and rub one of the cards and change it back to an ace. Now to make it easy for you, so you'll be able to follow the ace, we're going to bend the corner. And naturally with the corner bent, that makes it a little easier for you. In other words, you can't lose. You keep your eye on the bent corner. Again, I'll show you. I have a joker there, a joker there. And the secret of this trick is that I really had 1, 2, 3 aces. Now here's how you work the stunt. It depends on one master move only. For example, we use the ace and the two jokers. The 3 may be held as one card between the thumb and third finger at diagonal corners. The actual move is when you come over like this, instead of throwing the ace, this index finger comes over and draws that top card off and throws it instead. Thus you're able to show that you have 3 aces. Now let's go through that again. For example, suppose I wanted to show 2 jokers and an ace as 3 jokers. It is slow motion. 1, 2, 3. Now let me try that once more. Very slow. Here's the actual move. That comes up. Toss that down. Here's the way it looks fast. See? Just like that. Corner gag. You turn this card over first. Then when you move the ace forward to bend the corner, you bend this one and back at the same time. The result is you have 2 bent corners, but you keep covered and bring the 2 together as one. Now when you go to throw, you throw the joker instead with the bent corner. As your hands cross over, you just bend that in like that, which takes that bent corner out. Now you push this forward. Now here's really your ace, and you pick that up, and with the move you show that you have 2 jokers and a joker there. Then at the finish, where you want to show that you have 3 aces, you come over here to where your ace really is, and again making the move, you show you have 1, 2, 3 aces. Now let me do that first part of the routine over again so you can follow exactly what happens. Here's the ace here. You apparently throw the ace in the center. Apparently push that forward. You really have your ace here. Now you come back, show you have a joker there, and a joker there. Then you say, we never did have an ace. You have your ace really on top, but you show as 1, 2, 3 jokers. Then you explain anytime you want an ace, you're going to rub that and change it back to an ace. Now once more, here's the move. There and there, as you come up, that is drawn off, and you show it as 3 aces. Thank you. Folks, this is a jumbo monte trick, in which we make use of an ace and 3 fives. Now we'll square them up in this manner and see if we can deceive you a little by placing one of the cards over here. That leaves us with the 2 fives and the ace. Now keep your eye on the ace and the 2 fives. You turn them around like this. Place the ace under the arm like this. That leaves us with a 5 there, a 5 there, a 5 over here, and the ace is now over here. Now here's how you work it. You have a fake card with an ace up in the corner like that, a regular 5, a real ace, and another regular 5. So you show your ace and your 2 fives, then you close them up, and this time you really place the ace down here. But in reversing the cards, you fan out and you can show the ace is still apparently here. Then you turn it around, place that fake ace up here, show a 5 here, a 5 here, then this 5 covers the fake ace part there. Then you reach over here and you got the ace. And there's many other routines you can work with this, and this trick is for sale by all dealers, in case you don't have your own. And here's another method. You use the ace of clubs and the 2 fives of diamonds, hold them like that, place the ace here, a 5 there, a 5 there, a 5 here, then reach up under your coat and produce the ace. And that concludes 3-card monte. And for those who'd like refresher notes, why, we're going to have available at the end of the film, right now, manuscripts for those that like to have these refresher notes. Now remember, it only depends on the monte that Judah worked and the monte that I worked. Both of them depended merely on one master move, and you'll find with a few trials that you'll be able to work to perfection. And thank you, one and all.